Hey guys, hello and welcome back to the Novice Lumberjack. So I've been working on this cylinder for Eric, Ease Hack Job Saws, and this is a 372 clone. It says FT on it, so my guess is it's a Farmer Tech cylinder. It does have a 371 piston, meaning it's a single ring, really. Other than that, that's about all I can tell you. So, what I've done, it appears as though the squish was already cut in this. And in getting the base cut to where I had the squish that I wanted, I got it 26 thousandths on the squish. I told him already I don't want really high compression on this because this build is very specific, and this is just a test for fun and to see how it works out. What I want is this, and what he wants actually, is for this saw to be really high RPM, 20-inch bar, just for fun, and that's really it. And so going about it quite a bit different than I usually do. Number one, my thoughts are, I had, and I may still go a different direction, but I had thought about making the transfers really small so that the velocity would go, it would have very high velocity. And so I had thought about filling the transfers with JB Weld or some sort of things like that, and then re-drilling them. And you know, I might go back and revisit that, but the way that I decided to go as it went was large. Because I don't care about throttle response, and I don't care so much about torque either. This saw will be running a pipe on it, and that changes things dramatically. And it's not going to be a work saw or anything. So everything gets changed dramatically for this. So what I'm about to tell you is not what I would recommend for a regular work saw. And I don't know if it's going to work on this thing. It's all just experimenting and playing on a cheap cylinder. So once I got I just tell you, I got my squish at 26 thousandths. I cut out the little side places here that these 372s have that are meaningless, really. And I did open up the lowers a good bit. I knife edged them right there in the middle like that. I opened them up a lot. I also opened up the intake a lot. Can you see the nice Mickey Mouse ears we got going on there? See if you can see them from this side, maybe. Yeah. Got a lot of opening up happened there. The exhaust, I widened it quite a bit. You can't really see so well. It's substantially wider than what it usually is. And the roof, I raised the roof. I got it at 98 on the roof. The intake is at 83 and a half, you know. And my transfers, this is what's going to make a lot of people scratch their head. So my transfers right now are at 32 degrees of blowdown. As it was, they were 28 degrees of blowdown. But then I raised my exhaust 4 degrees to 98. And so now I'm at 32 degrees of blowdown. This might be a problem. But since it's going to be wearing a pipe, an actual expansion chamber pipe, the way those expansion chambers work, they send a charge back into the cylinder. And so a longer blowdown, I knew already that a longer blowdown would be better, you know, versus say like 18 degrees of blowdown or something like that. But 32 might be too much. I don't know. But the big mystery here is the pipe. I don't know what the pipe's going to do. I'm going to try and I will cut it up and I'll show you the pipe. So this is the pipe. The pipe is a pipe for some scooter. It's just some, I mean, it looks pretty killer, you know what I mean? The welds that I do will not be this nice. Look at this, nice. Pretty nice, you know? Yeah, I'm going to basically cut this whole tip off right here, this whole length. And I'll cut it, turn it, you know, get it back to where it's going in the right direction for the saw. And hopefully something will work out really nice with it. But the thing is like this, regardless of how much design went into it, who knows? These things are just cheap, probably made in China, mass made and just put together, and their main concern was probably how it looks versus how it performs, because if it looks fast, and it's got to be fast, right? Well, anyways, I have a 272 pipe hanging right here. I'm sorry, 372 pipe that is made for a 372 by CPI. I will try and somewhat match their dimensions as best I can. And so I don't know where this pipe is going to fall with all of its I always forget the words. The words for where it sends back and forth the sonic percussions. Because the idea with this is that it does three things. It amplifies those percussions, right? Those sound waves. It amplifies them, makes them bigger than what they are if you were just running no exhaust whatsoever. It amplifies them, makes them stronger, strengthens them, and it pulls all the way through the carburetor, through the air filter and the carburetor, into your transfers and out the exhaust. It's creating a draw. That's what you would want to call it. It creates this draw to pull more fuel in than it normally would. And it comes out the exhaust. It comes out. That fresh charge comes out. But then at the last minute, before the piston goes all the way up and closes off the exhaust port, right, it pushes it back into your cylinder and ultimately into your combustion chamber. So in a sense, it's very much like turbocharging, because it packs the cylinder in a way that you can't do without one of these, or without a turbo or something like that, right? So that's what it's doing. But that thing's probably designed, if there's any design whatsoever, it's designed to do it at 8,000 RPMs, which is way too slow. So in order to get it to happen faster, right, you remove length from it, right? Cut this off. So that right there is probably going to make this thing work at 4,000 RPMs higher up. At least that's the hope. And so there's nothing I can do with this except cut on it and hope for the best. So we will see how good this works, because if it's doing it at the wrong time, then what it does, and this is why a piped saw likes a longer blowdown, what it does is it pushes that charge that was in the exhaust, because it sucks it out. And that charge is now in your exhaust, partially, right? And then it gives you literally a blast of air, right? And it pushes it back into the cylinder. Well, if it does it too soon, then it shoots it back down into your transfers. Well, if you have a shorter blowdown, then there's a higher degree of possibility that this will happen if you have a pipe. So in order to combat that possibility, I'm hoping that the longer blowdown is really going to work in my favor and make this saw work properly. Only time's going to be able to tell us. I don't know if it will or not. 32 seems way too high for me, but I don't know. This thing might sing a song, baby. I don't know. So all this is playing and hoping for the best, fingers crossed, kind of thing. And we'll see how it goes. I got over here in my big old pot, I got his plastics dyeing up. Looking stellar. Shoot, yeah, looking really good. I'll go ahead and flip that over as soon as I get this phone off. But yeah, that's what we got going on. The saw itself, I have it over here in the vise. These 372s are a pain in the butt. You really kind of have to have something like this, because if you take the clutch cover off, it just drops on this side. It drops down. If you leave the clutch cover on as well, it still wants to rock back and forth. So I find this is a far superior method to just letting it sit on your workbench or something like I often do, because if it rocks back and forth, it makes this digital gauge go kind of haywire. But yeah, that's what I'm doing today. I have the porting done. I am fixing to put it back together and, keep dyeing these plastics. And hopefully tomorrow we'll get to run it. We'll see. I am a little worried about the carburetor. These things are known to have crappy carburetors. And if I can't adjust that cylinder the way it needs to be, well, that's going to suck. But even if I run it tomorrow, I'd be running it with the regular exhaust, and I don't know how that's going to work at all. Really don't. Especially with that 32 degrees of blowdown. My hopes are not high with a regular exhaust. And I don't know how long it's going to take me to cut up on that other exhaust. I don't know. But we'll see. As we go along, I'll keep you guys updated and see how it goes. Later.